Hey, hey, y'all. Welcome on to Chakras in Business. Kimberly Olson and special
Chaitali
guest.
Desai, and I'm so excited.
Yay! We are so excited to be here with you guys today. We're like two kids in a candy store because we've been so excited to present this information to you guys today and really get into what chakras are, how you can use them in your business, and just really optimize who you are and how you're showing up. And I thought, who better to do this with than my teacher, Chaitali, who she is a certified Gold Digger coach. She's one of our lead coaches, our senior coaches, but she's also the person I always go to whenever I need some support with energy and feeling out of balance. If I'm going through emotional, issues, I'm like, Chaitali, what can I do? So she is my teacher, my guys today. So Chaitali, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk all things chakras with us today.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. And thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. And I'm so honored to be the person who gets to share. You can hear I'm just kind of bursting over here. It's so yay.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So let's kick it off. Hey guys, welcome on. When you're in the chat, and depending on where you're watching this, because we are streaming this in multiple places, I want you to put a word in the comment to describe how you're feeling right now. You're curious, you're excited, you're like, school me. I want to just really 10x level up, be ignited. Drop an emoji or put a word in the comments to let us know how you're feeling right now and where you're tuning in from. I see all kinds of people in the comments, which is so exciting. So Chaitali, kick us off. Let's get this party started. Tell us a little bit about you and your background and what got you into this whole world of spiritual self-development, personal development, the world of energetics, which you guys are going to see more and more conversation around that this year and the years to come. But why don't you bring everyone up to speed and share a little bit about yourself and how you got into this field?
Oh gosh, yeah, for sure. So many of you guys know that my background is quite colorful, and it tends to be like a running joke in the business world, in the Team Gold Digger world. In my private life, my husband constantly refers to me as a Renaissance woman, reinventing whatever I need to be in the moment. And that's exactly what all of this is. I was doing some thinking. I don't do that often, I know, but I was thinking about this. I think I am in the science of humanity. When I look at all
Ooh,
of my
yeah.
background, from the molecular genetics to medical technology to all of my certifications, from Reiki to intuitive tarot reader to, life coach, practitioner, person. My
All
goal,
of that.
yeah, all of that. And I'm sure there's more, but I can't, the human design, all the things, all the
Oh,
things.
yes.
I'm here to in service in science of humanity. I want to be at the forefront of bringing us all into that next level. There
Yeah.
is so much opportunity in the world, so much growth, and that's I think I finally found my purpose in this space. That
Yeah.
is what I'm here to do, and I am so honored again that you asked me to share about this. And if you don't mind, I actually have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
For
Bring it
those
up.
of you listening, oh, thank you. For those of you listening, I would love to know, have you ever done yoga? Have you ever meditated? Like a guided meditation, or you sat somewhere in silence? Have you ever done Pilates? Gotten a massage, a facial, chiropractic work? And I'm sure you're wondering, well, I hope you're commenting below. I cannot see your comments, but I hope you're sharing
Oh,
what you
yeah, they're
have
saying,
done.
Sarah said yoga is life.
Well, yes. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen.
They're saying yes, 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 yes to all. Yes, all of it.
Okay. Woo. You all have been working your chakra system unintentionally all this time.
Oh, I just got chills.
Unintentionally. Have you, when you start yoga, for those of you who have started or who have said yoga below, you start with the sun salutation, the Surya Namaskar, as in Sanskrit. Have you looked at your hand positions? That's your chakras. When you
Oh,
go into that, what's that snake pose? Chitinjangra, I think.
I just know the street terms of things.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but you're laying flat and then you lift up your top half, like you push up
Oh,
to work your
yeah, it's
arms.
upward dog, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, is it upward dog?
I know
I
it
think
probably sounds like a
so.
weird conversation, but I'm gonna bring it home for you right now. When you elevate, you open and expand your chest. In
Ooh.
turn, you open and expand your heart chakra
Cobra.
and your solar
Cobra.
plexus.
Somebody said Cobra Chaitali. Okay, we have
Oh,
people who are
cobra.
more well versed on this than me.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea. You
Okay, so
expanded.
sorry I cut you off.
No,
Okay.
it's totally cool. You expanded your entire chakra system, primarily your solar plexus, confidence, your heart, love, your throat, communication, and you took your third eye and your crown and said hello to all that's above you.
Mm,
Those are you working through your chakra system unintentionally.
wow.
How crazy is that? And today I'm so excited. I think let's just get into it, Kimberly. We can start
Yeah.
showcasing what these chakras are and why, how we can move past the semantics of the word into the
Mhm.
energy.
Oh, can you say that again? Because this is huge.
Yeah, we want to move past the semantics. I'm meaning don't get stuck on a word.
Right.
There's such a bigger conversation to be had. And we just proved it by listing off all the things that you've already been doing, incorporating in your life, in your day to day practice. Sarah saying yoga is life.
Mhm.
You're already working through your personal energy system. Now let's bring intention to it.
Ooh, yes. Let's do that. That's awesome. Yeah. And also too, like I would invite you guys as you're going through is to be thinking about how you are using it in your day to day. And she's going to get into that. And then also be really curious about, some of the things that she's going to share today to say, oh, wow, like that's a different perspective. I never looked at it that way because it's when we're curious is actually when we're really open to learning. And just like I said, all the knowledge I've learned, all the things I've learned from you, Chaitali, like I want to make sure they're very like present and curious and open. So I want to invite you guys to do that. And you can control the slide deck on your end, right?
Okay. Yes, I can. All right.
Yay!
Learning something new every day. See, being open and curious in the moment. So, what are chakras? Right. And so the word chakra, it does come from it's a Sanskrit word which is based in India in Hinduism. So Sanskrit to Indians and all of our languages is like Latin to English. It
Okay.
is that mother language, so to speak. And in English, in like basic layman's terms, chakras are discs or wheels of light. It
Ooh,
is
feels
the
like
energy. And the way they operate is there's always an ebb and flow, just like the ocean. You always have your highs, you have your lows, is exactly how the chakras operate within our system. And as you move, they move with you. And oftentimes, though, as much as we want to progress, we hold on to things and we
Mhm.
hold it in our energetic system.
Yeah.
So that means, well, let me tell you a bit of the science. Science is catching up with the spiritual, and they are showcasing that within our cellular memory, because our cells are living also, they are holding on to memories and trauma going back 9 generations.
What? I've heard that before. And there's certain things that I've experienced that I'm like, I didn't experience this, but like I feel like I've experienced it like repetitively too. So, oh, that totally makes sense. That's crazy. Mind blown.
Yeah. And here's a relatively recent example of how that operates. Now, before I share it, I want to be mindful that we are not advocating any kind of animal anything. This was the science of the 1980s and 1990s. We
Okay.
tested on animals, in this
Okay.
case, rats or mice. So, what they did was they took a couple, like a male female mice, and they would present these mice with a smell, and then they would shock them. Smell, shock them. Again, not advocating anything about mice or anything like that or any kind of testing, but this is, again, the science of the 80s and 90s. So these mice, anytime they smelt this, whatever it was, they would get shocked. So their memory, their muscle memory, and their what remembers this. Then these mice were bred. They started to go down generation to generation. Each generation, even though they were not zapped, when they smelt it, their body remembered the pain.
What? Oh, I just got chills. It's fascinating.
Energy is real, and this is how
Mhm.
it gets stored.
Yeah.
And for so often, how often have you heard, and I'm sure, Kimberly, you can speak to this also, how often have we heard, oh, I'm just not confident.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just don't feel, I don't know, I don't feel safe enough to do that. I don't feel secure enough to do that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Those are all aspects of the different chakras. So when we look at our chakras, if you guys are looking at this slide, you can see that we have the rainbow, and I'm going to
Yeah.
connect it to food in a bit also, but
Ooh.
where they are located is actually where each chakra is located in your body. Right now, science is showing that we have over 114 different chakras. For our purposes, we're going to focus on the 7 main, and I'll introduce you to 2 more that are not on this slide. So we'll start at, like in anything, you start at the foundation, so bottom up.
Mhm.
So the red is your root chakra, your sense of safety, security. The orange is your sacral chakra, your creativity, your juiciness for life, reproduction, actually, also. Yellow, solar plexus, your confidence, your internal sun. Green, love, your heart chakra, the highest frequency across anything. The blue, your throat chakra. The indigo, your third eye. The purple, violet, your crown chakra. Just above the crown chakra, I would say just about here, I think you can see my hand, if not right about here on this graphic, is called your soul chakra, your soul star chakra.
Okay.
The other chakra is at the soles of your feet, and that is the earth star chakra. So you can see how the connections go from earth beneath you to the sky above you.
Mhm.
And as you work through these different chakras, you feel a sense of calm, really. Does anyone have any questions so far, Kimberly? I can't see the comments.
Yeah, no, they're just saying love the slides, love the food. So wow, never knew that. Love this. So what is okay, the solar plexus is also your gut, right? Like your
Solar
you said
plexus, sacral.
confidence gut, right? Like that gut feeling you get.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
between the solar plexus and the sacral. You'll feel it
Oh,
because they
okay.
both are kind of sit in your stomach area,
Okay.
and your
And then
sacral is just below your belly button, and your solar plexus just above.
okay. And then your throat, obviously voice and all of that. And then third eye, is that how like what's like a little blurb for that one?
Like a sense of knowing. Have you ever driven down the road and you had a feeling like, oh, maybe today I'm going to turn left?
Yeah.
It's this sense, this feeling
Okay.
of, oh, I'm going to try something new.
Okay. Kind of like a sixth sense. And then crown chakra would be like,
The openness to all that is.
ooh, okay. Okay, got it. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And what happens since they sit, I know on here we're showing it left to right, so you can see where they individually sit in your system, but they sit within your spinal column. The root being at the base of the spinal column, moving up.
Okay.
And for parents, or actually anybody really, have you ever told yourself or told your child, hey, stand straight? Part of it is this, because if you think about it, when you're sitting hunched over, sitting compressed, your spinal column is also compressed. You're breathing, you can't breathe as deeply.
Mhm.
Your like stomach gets all smushed. I don't want to do it on camera because it's not very attractive, but I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. When you're like hunched over,
Yeah.
you also shorten your channels.
Mhm.
And then when you open up again, going back to the cobra pose, you expand all of that. And you
Okay.
open yourself up to the magic that is within so that you can be out in the world expressing your greatness.
This makes sense with like I know a lot of people are commenting like they love chiropractic care.
Yeah.
And when I had I was pregnant with Addison, they referred me because she was breech, so I wanted to do a natural birth, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you can't do that. And I was like, no, I'm gonna. So I did some research and found out this a way to open up like through chiropractic care, but it's called the Webster technique, but they're actually opening up like your pelvis area and all of that. And it makes so much sense with what you're saying is like the spinal cord, but then each area, like what is opening up, or those poses in yoga. It's really about opening up is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And when we're working with students and clients, because you're, one of our coaches, a lot of what we see when people have all the things on pen and paper, like they're posting on social, they're doing all the things, but they're not having results, is because when we dig in, we realize there's some big blocks there.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm almost hearing like there's blocks and then there's opening. Is that an accurate statement of sort of that what's happening here? Okay.
Definitely. Because if you're not feeling confident, right, in your solar plexus, typically you will feel it's like a heaviness almost. And when you're not feeling confident, you cannot shine.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really look at it and you think in terms of the sun, if I were to put a cloud over the sun, it diminishes the sun rays. Right. And it's the same thing you're doing when you don't feel confident. And it's in your solar plexus. And you're holding on to probably something you heard as a 7-year-old from someone who was just not in a good mood in that moment. Wow. Because it's a 7-year-old who actually operates your system no matter what your age is right now. Because science has shown that your personality is determined by the age of 7.
Oh my God. Addison's 7 right now.
Yeah. Well, she's lucky. She has a very strong mom and a very strong parental unit sharing and showcasing that, hey, you can go out and you can do this. Mm-hmm. So her sense of self is very strong.
Yeah.
But not everyone was gifted that. Mm-hmm. But working through each of these chakras, each of these spheres of energy, you get to move through that.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful once you take out semantics and understand that we are all energy. Mm-hmm. We all show up in this facet, and you're living proof. I'm living proof of the self-work or the work we had to do on ourselves in order to get to this location, to this space and time. Because if you don't know, I'm actually an introvert and have never even liked to be in a photo, let alone here. No.
Look at you rocking your bad self.
Hey. That's a lot of practice and a lot of coaching. Thank you, Kimberly. So who can work with the chakras? By now, I hope that you guys understand that this is for everybody. And the beauty is we are all humans having the same experience, meaning we're all working through our energy system as we showcased using yoga, using massage. You've been doing that your entire life. Mm-hmm. If you were able to work with your chakras to move some of the energy that's stuck there. But just to back up for a second, I want to kind of describe how the chakras work in your system. Okay. If you think of your chakras as your sense of power, or let's relate it to electricity, right? We all expect that if you turn the power on, the lights will go on. If you flip that switch, it's the same concept with your chakras. When you start to operate through them, intentionally, you're turning their power on. And it's not to negate any beliefs. It really does not. It's not or, it's and. Meaning you can be a person of faith mm-hmm. and be a person who works with your chakras. One of our coaches, I think it's Vanette, actually, she's always talking about following your hunches or following your mm-hmm. gut.
Yeah.
This is what she's referring to indirectly. Mm-hmm. When you start to tune in, you can understand that, I had a funny feeling I needed to go left. And sure enough, I ended up coming to this shop where they had the cutest hat and it was exactly what I needed. Right. Anyone experience those coincidences?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It happens by being in tune with yourself.
That's cool.
So everyone can work with their chakras.
That's awesome. I want to share with you guys like how I became really passionate about this. I think most of you know, last year I lost my voice and it was not physical, which is crazy. I went to the ENT. I worked with a voice coach for like 6 months. And she was just like, you're doing all the things, And of course I talk really fast. So I had to learn to actually breathe. But like I worked with a voice coach, went in and got checked. And they were like, there's nothing physically wrong with you. And I was like, but I have no voice. Like I couldn't talk. And I started, just feeling like, what is going on here? And then actually Felicia, one of our students, I saw her at retreat last year, and she looked at me, and Felicia's very in tuned. Like Felicia's very in tune to other people as well. And she's very, very strong in her faith, and we share that together. And she looked at me and she said, I see a crack right here. Like, you know, like she's just very gifted. And she's like, I feel like the enemy is attacking you. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I started crying because I realized that makes so much sense. If it's not physical, then what do I do? And I was like, okay. And so I went into every day when I would pray, I would ask God to heal me here, but I would also visualize nutrients and nourishment in my throat chakra. And then I actually went to Sedona, and I had a aura reading where they like read your colors and stuff based on the chakras. And she had us meditate. And afterwards she goes, how did you get the blue, which is the throat, here in the reading? And I said, in the meditation, all I thought about was my throat chakra. I just thought about healing it. I thought about that. And when the reading, it gives me chills. It was all blue in like different areas. So I was just like, ever since then, I was like, holy ish, this stuff is real. But what was so powerful is when I started focusing on daily prayer and asking God to heal me here specifically, my voice healed.
Oh, wow.
Like, I mean, how do you make that up? Yeah. So I'm like healed from it. And I will be able to go back to that and anchor in that when I'm doing my prayers. So I wanted to share that.
That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you. And that's a really great point. When you're praying, you're connected. Mm-hmm. And then as you ask for healings, as you ask for whatever you pray about, that's how you open yourself up to that level of communication.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you think of the scientists, and I'll bring this back to science because I think it's fascinating, the connections. Albert Einstein, let me pull up his quote because it was so powerful to hear it or to read it. I didn't get to hear it. Everything is energy, and that is all there is. Oh, that is all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality that you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Mm-hmm. Who has watched The Big Bang Theory? This is exactly what Sheldon was always talking about. Bringing the experience that we feel is outside of us inward, and starting to own the fact that we were gifted with so much innate power. This is how you start to transition from I'm stuck, the stuckness of life, to, oh my God, I'm a boss and I've got this. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Yeah. And the comments they love hearing that they can have their faith and still dive into spiritual things. It's actually interesting because you guys know I'm like very strong on my faith, and I'm always like I'm very looking for ways to, so think about it this way. When we worry, it's a lack in faith that God has our back. If you're worrying, you have to ask yourself, why am I worried about something? Like if your heart, you're feeling like, for me, I'm very intellectual, as you guys noticed. It's sometimes hard for me to make the connection to my heart. So I can say, okay, please open my heart. Allow me to not judge others. Allow me to love people unconditionally. That's hard, right? But what's so cool about all of this is that you can be somebody that is strong in your faith. And actually, like, I'm always like, okay, what did, like you said, being aligned with the energetically being aligned with what you want, right? The law of attraction. Yep. It's faith-based, you guys. Jesus says it right in the Bible. He says, whatever you ask for it and it is given. Well, we hear that, but are we applying that? Are we actually asking? Are we like co-creating and saying, this is what I want. This is where I need healing. I mean, some of y'all, like you aren't, like, there might be a chakra that's out of balance. And so you say you're not creative. Well, why? Where's that coming from? Is that from when you were a little kid and you brought, a picture home and your parents were like, you colored out of the lines, like, go do it again. Like, right? Like, this is all energy. It's emotion. It's seeing all the different places in our body where we have energy, and you call them the wheels of light. Did you guys write that down? That's incredible. Imagine these beautiful wheels of light in our body, and we have this energy, and sometimes it's blocked. Sometimes, there's trauma, there's things we have to release. But what's so magical is we get to proactively be in the driver's seat to bring this into balance and to be able to be open and attract what we want. So if you want to attract more things in your life and you want to get aligned with what you want, this is the foundation of what Chaitali is teaching. So I just wanted to mention that because it's so powerful.
That was beautiful. I loved it. And that brings us into a chakra story time. And I'm sure you guys are like, why are there pets? Bear with me. So I have a friend of mine was sharing her friend's story. So it is not my friend's story. It's my friend's story. Yeah. And I do not have pets. I want to use that caveat here because I think it's important to understand that, well, you'll see right now. So we all know we've been living through a pandemic. And in the beginning of the pandemic, so many people started getting pets because they're like, I need companionship. Because we are hardwired for community. Mm-hmm. Hardwired for community. So people started to go get pets. While my friend was sharing that her friend, she's like, I'm going to go to the shelter and I'm going to find a pet. Now, I'm not sure what all happened and why she decided she was going to go to the pet shelter that was like about 30 minutes away, but she did. She walked in and she's like, I'm going to get that pet. This dog, an older dog, in the corner, minding his own business, did not, that he saw her, but he wasn't giving her the time of day because it turns out he was abused, right? So he doesn't love people. But anyways, she adopts him. That's her pet. She takes him home, gets home, he finds a new corner to sit in. Now, every day, like clockwork, she's wanting to build this relationship with this pet. So she brings food, water, same time every day. He kind of sees her, side eyes her. But slowly, he's like, okay, so far so good. I feel secure. I can move from my corner to the pet bowl. He doesn't do it while she's standing in the room. She has to already be walking away. Okay, so he comes, he's eating. He's drinking water now. About a month or so goes by. He watches her now. It's not the side gaze. He's watching her because he's feeling more secure in the situation. So now she puts the food down. As she's turning to walk away, he comes and starts eating. This goes on for a little while, and now he wants to see, okay, I'm going to finally explore where I'm at now because it's a lot bigger than that little pen at the shelter. And he moves out to see where does she go, but he can't go past a certain space just because he's not safe. He doesn't feel safe yet. So he's peeking around. Finally, she's like, oh, interesting. Okay, hey, I'm here. And then she doesn't push it. A couple of weeks go by. Now he goes into the room where she works because we're all working from home at this time. And he just watches her, doesn't go too close so that if something goes awry, he can run. That's my assumption because when you're not feeling safe, that's usually our reaction, right? Sorry. As they continue to build this relationship, he sees her come in to feed him, and he goes to the bowl at the same time, feeling seen, feeling secure, feeling safe to do that, knowing that there's no bad intention that will happen. A couple of months go by, and she had they didn't have like an actual gathering because at that time it was still pretty hard times, right? Mm-hmm. But like through the glass. And so like she brought her dog to her family's something or other. And so through the glass, she introduced them, and he was okay. He didn't run away. And this would go on for a while until finally he started to bark. And he would see them kind of doing something like the family and the kids, and he would bark, speaking to them, trying to call them over, like, hey, I'm here. She decided to go to that shelter that was about 30 minutes away. It's the crown in the third chakra, in the third eye chakra. Having an idea, having a feeling that there's something over there. She walked into this shelter and selected that dog. Again, sensing that this is my dog. She brings him home. I used the word safe, secure, intentionally. She built that safety in him to understand it's okay to eat. I'm not going to harm you. It's your root chakra. He was curious, going around, seeing what's happening. Sacral chakra, the creativity, the curiosity. He had the confidence to walk into another room knowing that nothing was bad would happen. It's your solar plexus. to sit with her, to be okay with that, is your heart chakra, the highest frequency you will ever achieve in any lifetime. The throat chakra, he's wanting the other family to see him, to know he's there.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Everything is energy. And this is how you can see it in real time. When you look at this and you can see that, oh my goodness, you can build up this other person. Imagine if you took a minute and you started building yourself up. What would happen to you then? What would it feel like if you worked with your chakras, your personal energetic system, like my friend's friend did with this dog? And I know you're probably thinking, but that's a dog. If she can do that for a dog, what can you do for yourself?
Oh, yeah.
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 So I would love to take this time. If this is something that you have been interested in, if you're under like, oh, I'm super curious about this, like Kimberly invited you to in the beginning, I would love for you to join us in the Chakra Success Codes. We're going to be talking about the energetics of business. But like I said in the beginning, this applies to you in all aspects of your life. Working through each chakra, understanding what a block or an unbalanced chakra looks like versus a balanced, healthy chakra. Taking that conversation from where you are right now in that stuckness and moving, shifting that energy, stepping into that next level of yourself. Am I forgetting anything, Kimberly?
Yeah, for those of you, Chaitali has an invitation for you guys. So as she's inviting you to take the next step with her to be able to dig into each chakra, see what it looks like for practical application for, your business, but it's really going to come down to your confidence. As we know, it's kind of like working on the mindset before we work on the marketing. Just put the word boot camp in the comments, boot camp, and then we'll be able to tag you on enrollment to enroll in this. She's going to share with you a little bit more, but just put boot camp if you are like watching this and you're just going, okay, I know that there's truth to what she's saying right now. And I suspect, and it's kind of like you said, that like hunch, you suspect that there's something missing in your life. Like you suspect that like you're doing the reels, right? You're reaching out to people, but it's not clicking. Like you're having some success and then you self-sabotage or you procrastinate. Some of those key things that we don't like about ourselves: procrastination, self-sabotage, doubt. If you sit in doubt often, you can't make decisions quickly. These are all clues that we've got some work to do internally. So when we can start to learn, okay, well, what does that mean for me and my body and the energy and the chakras, and how you can strengthen those, unblock those, like me being able to go, okay. And I have like, I'm able to say, the hunches, oh my gosh, those coincidences, I now expect them to happen because I've worked on the different chakras. So I have work to do as well, but I'm able to come back to these tools. This is what's so powerful is when I go into prayer and I go into meditation, I literally say, I'm like, I have this thing where I'm like, hey, Jesus. And he's like, great job today. Like,
Yeah.
so funny. Like, I really do. I'm like, and sometimes I'm like, hey, and he's like, it's all good, girl. He's like, do you think everybody liked me? They didn't. Like, go do your thing. And there's other times when no, for real. And then there's other times when he's like, I'm really proud of you today because I saw you show up. And then I ask God, I always say, this is my prayer. This is my request. And I'm able to get to that point. I actually energetically move through every chakra in my body. Why do I do that? Because I want to feel it. Like if my gut, like this, that kind of how did you describe it? The confidence, if my confidence is lacking, I know I've got work to do. So just put the word boot camp in the comments. If you're like, okay, I hear what you're saying. Like, I know there's something wrong, say wrong, out of balance. I'm feeling exhausted. Like there are so many amazing things, like you said, with the food, there's so many amazing things. And you know, what's so great about this, you guys, is with Chaitali's background, what she's teaching you is scientifically proven Okay, so it's not woo-woo, it's scientifically proven, but it's coupling it with spirit, the spirit. We are energy, we are spirits, right? We're asking, you know, the Holy Spirit to come into our bodies. That's where it's all colliding. Like watch this later. This is 2022, so you may watch this in 5 years. Now is where people are going to start to realize there's so much more for us. And when we're open and we start to see what we can tap into, you guys, total transformation. Okay. Mind, body, soul, all the things. But if you are, you know, stuck in your business, you know, there's something going on, you feel off, just put the word boot camp, one word. Yep. Boot camp, one word. And that will alert our team to tag you on enrollment. And then we can also drop the link. If you have connected, somebody's invited you to this, please reach out to that person and register with them. Okay. We want them to get credit for doing that. So if you want to take the next step with Chaytali, she's going to share with you, connect with the person who invited you, but we'll also drop the link in here so you guys can you can register if you've not connected with someone in our community. So Chaytali, share with them a little bit about the Chakra Success Codes. Like, what is that? What can they expect to learn from you?
Yeah, definitely. So it's a 7-week journey that we'll be taking together. And I call it a journey because we'll be moving from chakra to chakra so that you can start to really feel your way through your energy. Because so often we have been, again, unintentionally doing these things. But by bringing attention and focus, we can start to recognize when we're out of balance and when we are in balance, essentially creating harmony within. Each week we'll take one chakra. So week 1 will be all about the root chakra. I'll walk you through balanced, unbalanced, what that feels like. I'll share with you different exercises that you can take or that you can start to incorporate to move the energy. I'll teach you and I'll show you different foods to revitalize that chakra and how to like bring intention there also, because we've all heard that saying, eat the rainbow. Did you notice the chakras are also the same color of the rainbow?
Oh, yes. And isn't it like certain foods have those attributes? If I remember,
Yes.
I watched the is it Emotion, that documentary?
Oh.
Y'all, you guys should check that out. Emotion, like the letter E and then motion, Emotion. That documentary is fantastic, and it will be a good backdrop to what Chaytali is teaching today. But he does talk about the foods and the colors and all that.
Yeah, it's revitalizing. Oh, that's fascinating. Missy was actually talking about that also. I'll have to definitely, it's on my to-watch list.
I love it. Mm-hmm.
But as you move through these chakras, you'll be able to understand a little bit better as to maybe why you're not always feeling so confident. What dirt do you have hiding on laying on top of your chakra, right? It's almost like the clouds over the sun. Same concept.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the dirt is just trapped emotions that you get to move. If you think of a hose, for those of you who like live in the Northeast where it gets cold, when the summer comes and the first time you turn on that hose, that water that comes out is kind of murky and it's gurgly. It doesn't come out as fluidly as when all of a sudden the water is coming through. Right now, that's your energy. It's the kind of stuck gurgles with the dirt sitting inside. As we learn to work with this, we'll learn how to create that fluidity within. And if you're fluid within, guys, you show up like this or better. That is always our mission. That is always our purpose. And we'll move through each of these chakras. In addition, I added some bonuses because I think it'll be really beautiful for you to be able, or whoever is joining us, and for us also, to really take some time. So as a gift, we'll be offering a personalized healing frequency, meaning different musical notes that will help balance out your chakras, but personalized to you, not something that you can YouTube that's fit for like 1,001 people. This is specifically attuned to you.
And I've done this, you guys, the personalized healing frequencies. I've done this with Chaytali, and I actually we did a new scan. I listened to it multiple times a day. I actually had it pulled up this morning. So it's customized for me, but it changed, which I thought was so cool. There was one that was pretty similar because they're basically, if you have are any of you like very high energy like me? Like my central nervous system is like, like I have to lay down sometimes just to like shut my brain off. Well, that's actually also out of balance. I have very high frequency on certain things. So the personalized healing frequencies actually balance it out. So when we redid it, it was about 4 weeks apart, maybe even less than that. They had changed already, which I thought was so cool to see, like just the mix on that. I also want to mention for the food that she's going to touch on that as you're working with Chaitali. I want to get your guys' feedback when you go through the 7 weeks with her. By the way, she's live teaching this. This should be thousands of dollars to get 7 weeks. I know what she charges to coach one-on-one, thousands of dollars of what you're going to get working with her for 7 weeks. But I want to know how you guys liked the food component of it, because I actually just listened or read a book. It's called The Secrets of Shambhala, but he talks about food and how actually when we eat certain foods, dead foods that, so not plant-based, they actually block our energy, and they actually kind of zap it. So when you were saying the clouds, or that like thing, you're going to be getting into that in the 7 weeks. You'll be going
not in like super depth,
right,
but enough to where you'll be able to start leveraging that for your health.
Okay, good. Okay, so she's including that because some of them are like, where do we find the information on food? She's going to be touching base on that. And it's one of those, once you get the concepts of like the correlation between the food you eat and the chakras and your energy, you'll be good to go. You won't need like a customized meal plan or something. But I'd love to know feedback on that as you guys go through it. I'd love to know how you liked that part of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got these bonuses are only available for those that enroll by Saturday. Okay. And then we're shutting everything down. So don't wait. Basically, it's a no-brainer when you guys see the price point on this. We just literally were like, this is new to our audience. We want to make it just quick decision. No chakras blocked. Nope. Just quick decision, get yourself in, but these bonuses will be available through Saturday. So go ahead. Why don't you share with them what they're getting?
Yeah. So you'll also be getting the weekly chakra journal prompts, so you can start really honing in on why you've been stuck. You'll get affirmations for each chakra, which I don't know about you, but it has worked magic on me. Mm-hmm. And lastly, once the group opens and I have asked for everybody's intentions, I will make a very special personalized tapping for the group. So it's not there yet, but it will be there because I want to make sure it addresses what you guys are looking for. And that alone, I think, is going to be exceptionally powerful, helping you literally tap your way through your chakras. But that'll be a special tapping, and then that I will cultivate it after we've started and you guys share your intentions.
Can you really quickly tell them what tapping is?
So tapping takes all the stuff I just talked about, and I'm a hand talker, so you'll be tapping through. It's an active meditation. You'll be tapping through different meridian points, and we'll get into the meridians too. But if the chakras are the energy unit, the meridians are the channels that it runs through. So if you're looking at power, like electricity, whatever the thing that makes power, like like the battery, when you turn it on and then the battery's power goes somewhere.
Not me.
I know. It's a different science. It's those electrical circuits, and that's what moves through your body. So as we tap through the different meridian points, we also tap along the chakras, and it starts to energetically shift the stuckness that's within. And we will be affirming our intentions. So we speak it, we tap it, we feel it. So it's a very active meditation. You will be exceptionally hydrated for the next 7 weeks because it is that good for you. And you'll be wanting to flush out all the stuff that no longer resonates. We got to let the dirt go, people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I use tapping when, so if any of you you have the best intentions, but like your morning doesn't go great with your kids, or you feel anxiety partway through the day, or dread, or you're just like not wanting to work on your business, or if you struggle with addictions, and obviously, I'm not a therapist, but this is what I use. I actually use tapping. So I would go find a quiet space when I was working still, and I would just do 5 minutes, 10 minutes of tapping. And I was able to shift my energy back to being like, no, like let's redirect. It's like a very powerful moving meditation, really. But be able to redirect your energy back to where you want to be.
And while we're reaffirming or affirming what we want, we're creating new neural pathways. I don't want to bore anyone with the science, but it is so fascinating what happens. And there are scans out there that you can see. The gentleman who created is Gary Craig, and he showcases a lot of like how you are creating new neural pathways, again, channels, to
Yeah.
create the lifestyle, the life that you're wanting. And it starts internal, guys. And I don't think I actually even made a slide for the price. So it's only $111.
111. Yeah. And like I said, you guys, this is worth thousands. They will have access for life to the content, correct? Okay.
Yeah,
So you're teaching live, and does it start next week?
it starts Monday, May 23rd.
Okay, great. Yeah. So she's like, where's the calendar?
I
So
know.
it starts next week. She's live teaching. Once you enroll, what will happen is we will put you into the Facebook group, and you'll also have access for life to all the content, all the replays, everything that she's talking about. She'll be live teaching for those of you that are like, oh, I want to be on it, I want to be with her, but then you can obviously watch the replay. And it's all good. So if you can't make it live, no worries. You'll have access right away. So once you enroll, just check your email because it'll give you instructions on getting into the Facebook group. Yeah, just put boot camp in the comments. 111, I know. Put boot camp in the comments and we'll tag you on it. If you have been invited by one of our Goal Digger influencers, that's an affiliate program we have, please reach back out to them and let them know you'd like to enroll because they have a specific referral link that we need you to use if you don't mind. But if you're not working with one of our affiliates, you can just connect with someone in our community. I'm sure all of you have a contact, or just put the word boot camp. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to, if you don't mind, I just wanted to share about why it's only 111.
Yes.
I want those who have been curious, those who are like, oh, this looks kind of interesting, but this is a no-brainer kind of entry point. And getting that time with us in this closed container to really move chakra to chakra, there's power in that. So I wanted it to be open and accessible for as many as possible.
Yeah.
I have the
appreciate you
energy
doing
to hold that space, as
Yeah.
does the team.
Yeah, that's huge, Shaytelli. Yeah, and when we decided, we were like, okay, I was like, Shaytelli, this is worth like thousands. But we consciously together made the decision that we wanted to remove any barriers of entry to stepping into something new for a lot of you. And I want to encourage you, those of you that are like, okay, is this okay? Right? You have to make that decision for yourself. But for me, I always ask myself, God put me on this earth for a reason. I have a lot of work to do to create the legacy I want to create, to build the empire and the impact in this world. The only way I'm going to be able to operate at the level that demands is to be functioning at my best self. So if there are tools that we have now, and obviously the science is backing it, which is so cool.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he wants me to use these tools. Like there was something that happened recently and I reached out to Chaytelli and she's like, okay, let's get a Reiki session on the books. Let's work through that. It's some trauma that I'm going through. We all have trauma, right? But like, it's real. And I'm so thankful that I have her as my go-to person. I'm so lucky because I have her on speed dial, but my coach, my sister, who she sees me wholly and completely, but also broken, and somebody who has so much growth that I still have to still happen and manifest. But in that process, you guys, I'm learning that it's great to tap into chakras and energy work and energetics and spirituality and how it all plays into my strong belief and my conviction that God wants me to live my best life. And that means optimizing all of this and unblocking so I can become unstoppable.
That was beautiful.
So thank you, Chaytelli.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this. This is awesome.
So
y'all just put boot camp in the comments. Any parting words, Chaytelli?
I'm excited to see you guys in the group. It's going to be transformational.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, like, I can't wait to see what y'all accomplish. And I'll be participating along with you guys in it and with Chaytelli. But I can't wait to see what happens in this short time together. But these are tools and skills that you can use for yourself, with your kids. I use this with my daughters. I use it with my husband. He doesn't really know that. And so it's all good for everybody. But I'm excited to see what y'all accomplish in that time together. So Chaytelli, thank you so much. I so appreciate you.
Thank you for all of it.
Yeah, this is awesome. All right, guys. And for those that came and hung out with us, thank you. Yeah, all the bonuses, everything is going down on Saturday. So just register now. It's a no-brainer. And we'll see you guys inside the class. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.